Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new rankings video. So today we're looking at the top 5 drones in Tanki Online. So as you guys know, a lot of the drones in the game have been completely removed and they are going to be added as whole augments. Now I may add a whole augment ranking video when they add more of them, but now it's time to give you guys an updated list on the top 5 best drones in the game now that they have removed 10 full drones. Don't forget to use creator tag Taspens in the item shop if you're going to purchase anything. And let's get straight into the list. So firstly, I'm just going to start off with an honorable mention, and that's going to go to Brutus. Now I've decided not to rank this in the actual list and just put it as an honorable mention just because it's kind of turned into just a drone that every single person can easily get. So it's not really like a big decision to go ahead and upgrade it because it's so cheap to upgrade. Overall, this drone is amazing for people who just don't want to use a lot of supplies and they just have a random drone equipped, and that's why it's going to get the honorable mention spot. All right, so the number 5 spot's going to go to the Defender drone. Now the Defender drone is pretty dang good, especially if you're playing super defensive. My biggest problem with this drone is that if you're playing offensive, you're actually attacking the enemies, I would much rather have an additional damage increase. Sure, it's nice having that additional armor when you're attacking someone, but if they have protection against you, if they have double armor, by the time you even kill them, the double armor that you got from Defender isn't going to be all that helpful. That's why it's going to go in the number 5 spot. So number 4 spot's gonna go to Booster. Now it's funny, when Booster was first announced and released into the game, it did a crazy amount of boosted damage, but now it only does an additional 20% damage when fully upgraded. Now don't get me wrong, 20% increased damage on turrets that have a really high damage per second are really good. The biggest problem is that this drone kind of falls off on some turrets, just maybe Railgun or Magnum, just because since you're shooting so rarely, that 20% increased damage isn't gonna do all that much. Now don't get me wrong, on turrets like Freezer, Firebird, or even Ricochet, this drone is incredible and it's my definite go-to when I'm not using Crisis. Overall, this drone is pretty overall decent and kind of just meh after they nerfed it to only 20% increased damage, but it's still really good. The number 3 spot's gonna go to the Trickster drone. Now, as a lot of you guys know, speed is my favorite part about this game. I love using Crisis, I love using Trickster just because getting that increased speed is just super fun. Now, although you don't get an increased double armor, you don't get an increased double damage, the speed that you get can work perfectly if you have the skill to use it. It's really fun to just outrun enemies or outmaneuver enemies and get behind them and deal damage. And if you know how to use this drone really well, it can definitely work a lot better than Booster or Defender in a lot of circumstances. It's really fun to play either Assault or Capture the Flag and get in and out of the enemy's base in no time and without getting hit. And overall, it's just a really fun drone. I love using it. It definitely adds a new play style to the game that I think is really awesome to do when you're bored or something, and that's why it's gonna get the number 3 spot. So number 2 spot's gonna go to the Hyperion drone. Now this drone is by far probably the most slept on drone in Tanki Online. Now, although it doesn't give you any bonuses towards your boosted armor, boosted speed, boosted damage, the best part about this drone is that you get your repair back every 7 seconds. And then on top of that, you have no supply cooldown ever. So if an enemy team is just spawn camping you guys in a deathmatch mode or something, you can easily get all your supplies instantly as you spawn and destroy the enemies. Now, the main reason I love this drone is just because it has everything. You don't have to wait for any of your supply cooldowns. There will be a lot of situations in Tanki where you choose between double armor and double damage, and a lot of the time, if you had both, you could easily kill the enemy. With this drone, you don't have to make that decision ever because you'll always have max supply. And then 8 seconds for repair, that's basically 1 repair per enemy that you attack. You're almost undefeatable when using this drone, and that's why it's gonna get the number 2 spot. So number 1 spot, of course you guys saw this coming, is gonna be the Crisis drone. Now a lot of you guys know how this drone works, but quick rundown. You can only use 1 supply at a time, but when you use that supply, it has a crazy increased percentage. When you're using your speed boost, you can travel extremely fast, even faster than Trickster. When you use a double damage, you get 70% increased damage, and then when you use a double armor, you get an additional 90% increased armor. This drone does it all. I'd say the only downside I sometimes get annoyed by is if I'm using a turret like maybe a Sita or Freeze, and I actually need both supplies because I'm getting shot by multiple people, but then I have to go ahead and use double armor because I'm gonna die if I don't, and then I'm not able to do the amount of damage I need to do. That's like the only downside I have, because if you're on a one-on-one fight, you're almost guaranteed to win that fight unless they have protection against you. Overall, this drone is just awesome. I love the play experience you get when using it. The gameplay is just multitudes more fun with this drone. and that's why it's gonna get the #1 spot. Let me know what your favorite drone is currently in the game after they removed 10 full drones. Hope to see you guys in a future video. Peace out.